Holy cow. Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures, and I'm going to get the big elephant out of the room. Yes, I know my videos are a little bit blurry. I think that's part of my entire phone actually going, because I clean my lens constantly, and it really hasn't helped the blurriness of it. My phone is getting ready to go. I don't know how many more of these videos I can do because I'm going to be on a phone. And you know what? This tripod, I want to get rid of it because I don't want nothing that came from my brother. I really, really don't. And someday, this tripod I'm going to replace. I'm going to buy one that will be my own, not from some narcissist asshole. Nonetheless, now I was going to do a video yesterday, but I changed my plans, the Trump assassination attempt. I had put this video today I was going to do on hold, and instead I did that one yesterday. I didn't really plan on doing two videos in 2 days because of the setup I'm not fond of, so I decided to put this video on hold and do it today. And what a crazy last week it has been with celebrity deaths, and Trump almost went on that list with the failed assassination attempt. It started July 9th. I did a video on that. Oak Ridge Boys lead singer Joe Bosnell, he had died. So I did a video on that. So you can go ahead and go back and watch that one. And then on the next day, July 10th, Dave Loggins died. He was 76. Now, all these, this is going to be the least known one I talk about of all the deaths that happened in the last week. He was a singer, songwriter. He wrote songs for many singers, including Tanya Tucker, Reba, Winona, Alabama, Toby Keith, Kenny Rogers. 1995, he was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. He's one of the few singers to have a #1 hit as a songwriter and as a singer with Come to Boston or something like that. A song that Reba I think actually did herself too. But nonetheless, he ended up dying on July 10th. The very next day, July 11th, Shelley Duvall, she was only 75. She ended up passing away from diabetes complications. And, she had a somewhat long career, but for about 21 years she didn't act. And she did her last movie in 2023. It's a horror movie. I can't remember the name of it. But she did that. She did that last role. Now, what I remember most from her, on her 3 roles that I remember most, was, of course, The Shining from 1980 and Popeye. I forgot The Shining and Popeye came out in the same exact year. Now, I know Popeye isn't one of the greatest movies ever, but you know what? The late Robin Williams playing Popeye and Shelley Duvall playing Olive Oyl. It's almost perfect casting when you really think about it, because those two made that movie actually watchable with those two acting in that movie. And Shelley Duvall, that was one of her best roles that don't really get talked about much. I know they talk about The Shining, they don't really talk about Popeye too much. And another role that's remembered for different reasons, Suburban Commando, 1991. Okay, this is a bad Hulk Hogan movie. We all know that. Any Hulk Hogan movie is bad. But what's most remembered for this is Christopher Lloyd, playing in the movie, and Shelley Duvall playing in the movie. Now, she didn't play a lot in the movie, but she played enough in the movie to be remembered for that role. That she probably acted better in that movie than she should have, because it was a really horrible movie. Now, moving on, like I said, there was a lot that went on in the last week. July 12th, now this one didn't get a lot of publicity, but it got some. On July 12th, Dr. Ruth, I can't pronounce her last name, she was 96 years old. Now, if you grew up, or even if you were an adult in the 80s, you really couldn't escape Dr. Ruth. She was all over the TV set because she was a sex therapist. I remember as a kid, I didn't really know these terminologies yet that she would talk about when she would say orgasms and penises and stuff like that. And, this wasn't one of the more well-known deaths that happened in the last week, but yeah, it did happen. So Dr. Ruth, best known as her sex talks, they would phone in, or people in the audience would ask to have something about sexual related, and she would have an answer for it. And she was German born, so she had that sort of that accent from being from Germany. July 13th was one of the big ones that really happened. And this one sort of came out of nowhere, because on July 12th, he just celebrated his 76th birthday. Richard Simmons. They were going to do a biopic on him, and I think I talked about this in a previous video. They were going to do a biopic on him, and he wasn't very keen with Pauly Shore, being the person that was going to be portray him in the movie, and Simmons wasn't really on board with that. What's that going to happen? How is that going to affect the biopic going forward? Who knows? Who really knows? Because Simmons wasn't on board with it in the first place, and Simmons is almost a motivational story. Simmons, he went on record saying he was bullied, and the only way he could cope with that was by eating a lot of food as he got near 300 pounds. And it motivated him to lose weight. It really did. It motivated him to lose weight. And in the 80s, like Dr. Ruth, Simmons was everywhere. Oh, he was all over the TV screen with his workout videos, and he was so energetic. You could see that he loved losing all that weight, and he was so energetic with it. And the one thing that's always brought up is his sexuality. That was always brought up, even at the height of his fame. Even at the height of his fame, was he gay or not? Does it matter? No, it really doesn't. Because Simmons was so full of life. He really was. He was so full of life that it just at one point he just completely disappeared from the spotlight. He really did. He just went into he just wanted to be by himself, and he just really wasn't in there. He just, you don't hear many people of this. He just didn't want anything to do with the spotlight anymore, and he just disappeared from it, literally and figuratively. So Simmons, after a while, was a little bit of a surprise, but that's the kind of week it has been. And the last one, I had quite a few to discuss here. The last one was probably one of the saddest ones on this list that happened last week. Shannen Doherty. I said her last name wrong. I apologize. She was only 53. Cancer. We all know cancer sucks. It really, really does. It really sucks. She had an interesting career, to say the least. I don't want to delve too deep into it because she had a lot of she became known as the bad girl on sets because she had a lot of creative differences, and she didn't like how her character would be portrayed, and so they would can her a lot of times because she didn't like the way the character was being portrayed. So that gave her a bad reputation to be cast into roles. But she was a damn good actress. No doubt about that, because she kept getting roles and stuff like Little House on the Prairie, Beverly Hills 90210. I always have trouble saying that, but nonetheless. And of course, Charmed. And this is one of the saddest ones I think of all the deaths that happened in the last week because she was only 53 and it was cancer. And you know what? I know I went through these incredibly fast, but it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy week starting July 9th with all these deaths that have happened. It's just been it's just been crazy with all these deaths, and then the Trump attempted assassination attempt. It's just been a crazy, crazy week. You don't hear of weeks like this too often, but yeah, it does happen, and there was a lot to go over. I probably did it a little bit too fast. I probably didn't do any of these justices, but you know what? Rest in peace to all the ones that I have talked about. Rest in peace and condolences to the friends and the family. And you know what? I don't have anything else to add. So until the next video I do, when that will be, I don't know. But you know what? I'm almost always forgetting to not say that's all for now. I'm still struggling with that. But you know what? Until my next video. Me and Mom are saying that's all for now.
That's all for now.